Hey, my name is Josh Quiroz, and this is my testimony. In about middle of high school, I started making this decision to kind of walk away from my relationship with God and started running around with friends and doing things I know I should not have been doing, but at the time I thought that's what I wanted. New Breed Youth Camp was coming around the corner. My parents were encouraging me to go. I didn't want to go, but reluctantly went. And it was on the very first night of youth camp. We hadn't even had a sermon preached. Nothing had happened yet. They had just gotten into worship, and His presence showed up in the room in a way that I still to this day have never experienced. And I can just remember falling to the ground and just crying my eyes out for the entire remainder of worship. And it was in that moment that I was like, this is what I want for the rest of my life. I want to spend my life with you, God. I ended up getting up, and I felt like the Lord started speaking to me, so I started writing down what He was telling me. Tore that out of my journal, put it in a box, and I have like a bunch of words I keep in a box, and I just put it away. Track with me now. We're gonna skip 4 years into the future. I'm dating my now wife, Kaylee, and one day she comes up to me and says she feels like God had spoken to her about us going to a Bible college in Australia. So I told her, I'm as awesome as that sounds, like if we're supposed to go, God will make it extremely clear. And I want to say it was that night or a night soon after, and I feel like God brought back to memory this like little piece of paper I had written on 4 years prior. And I opened up that piece of paper, and I have it still. But on this piece of paper was a list of 4 places. The top thing on there said Australia. I had forgotten all about this piece of paper, and for Him to remind me of it and have me go read it, kind of felt like a bit of a confirmation, but it wasn't enough still for me to believe that God was saying I'm telling you to go to Australia and go to Bible college. Only a couple weeks later, I go to the Worship and Prophetic Conference, and one of the first couple of nights, Mark Job stands me up and gives me a word.
Let me get Mr. Quiroz back here. Josh, right? Okay, would you stand up for just a minute? I don't know if anybody's ever said this to you, but there's ministry on you, son. And I don't know if it's full-time ministry, but it will be ministry whether you go into some job, some office building, or whether you go into a church. You will always have ministry on you. And the Lord's not going to let you take any shortcuts. He's given you a brilliant mind on purpose. He's not going to let you coast. I want to exhort you by saying, study the Word, even consider Bible college. Now, some people, they go to Bible college to go into full-time ministry. Others go to Bible college just to get a foundation before they start their career. I don't know. I can't see that part. I just want you to pray about it and consider Bible college, because the things that you're going to do in the future, you're going to need to be able to rightly divide the word of truth.
From that point on, me and Kaylee were both completely confident and determined that this is what was going to happen. A year and some change later, the girl that was sitting next to me in the video, Kaylee, we'd end up being married. We would be in Australia attending a Bible college. God provided every penny that we needed to get there. Even while we were living there, there would be an envelope that would show up in our mailbox. It would have our name on it, and it would not say who it was from, but it would have exactly the amount of money we needed for whatever bill we owed. And I think back on all of it, and all of this is just a reminder to me of what Jesus paid for. He paid for us to have an abundance in this life. And it's not just finances. It actually has very little to do with that and more to do with the peace that comes with knowing that we have a God who provides for us, a God that gives us callings and gives us dreams and gives us visions, and He's the one to be trusted with those things, and He's gonna make it happen. We don't have to strain and fight and try to make life work, but He's the one who makes it all work together.